Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Guys, I've been thinking the last years about that concept of free speech. Do we really have free speech? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think so. What triggered me to do this vlog is Gary Lineker. I don't know if you heard about this big controversy. He is a pundit, a sports pundit in England, and he said something. He said on his Twitter that the immigration policies of the UK government makes him think of the policies in the Nazi era, which it can be debated, but he was reprimanded, he was suspended, and it was a big uproar that how can BBC suspend this man for giving his own opinion? That's just it. It's his opinion. Why can't he say? And I've seen this happening more and more over the last years. People are more and more afraid to voice their opinions for fear of reprimand, for fear of losing their jobs, for fear of being ripped apart in the media. You constantly see people coming onto the media after they voice their opinion, which falls for some reason bad in somebody's throat. They come on and say, I'm sorry, it's not something I should have said, and I apologize. And everybody is so offended all the time. Do we still have freedom of speech? I don't think so. More and more, I'm afraid we are losing freedom of speech. If you look carefully, take a look at different media outlets, the reporters and the pundits, when they're sitting around those tables talking about a specific subject. If you look good at them and you listen good at them objectively, they look terrified. They look terrified that they will say something that will get them in trouble with the public or with the higher ups, and they're just not free to speak anymore, speak their opinions, speak their minds. Are we really living in a country where there's freedom of speech? I know our governments like to jump on the media and criticize China and criticize places like Iran and criticize places like Russia, that the people don't have freedom of speech and journalism is under pressure. And is that really so? My mom always taught me that when somebody is saying something, listen very carefully to what they're saying. Be critical of what they're saying. Um, Understand why they're saying the things that they're saying. Do our governments really believe that China and Russia and places like Iran and certain countries in Africa are suppressing the people any more than they are suppressing us and our speech? People are terrified to speak out anymore. Do we have freedom of speech? I do not think so. Think about a corporation. Think about where you work right now. You know, um, they always try to have policies where they throw it out in emails and say, we have an open door policy. We're interested in your feedback. You can come anytime and, give feedback and say what you want. They push this open door policy. But do you dare go into your boss's office and be bluntly truth about what's going on? Do you dare go into your supervisor's office and be bluntly truth about how you feel about the company and the direction it's going in? You don't. It's just a facade. You won't do it because you fear for repercussions, you fear for losing your job, you fear for when there's reorganization that you get left out. You are living in fear of speaking out. And that's what I see across the board more and more. We do not really have freedom of speech, because why can't Gary Lineker say what he said? Why can't he have an opinion about what's going on in the UK right now and compare it in his opinion to what went on in Nazi Germany. It's an opinion. It's a private opinion. And like I say, I see this across the board when you're watching the media and the pundits, and if you listen good to them, if you look good in their eyes, they're terrified. They're terrified to say something that will get them in hot water, that isn't politically correct, that will rub a certain group a wrong way or a certain organization a wrong way, that they would have to crawl back and come and apologize and their jobs will be in jeopardy. That's not what freedom of speech is ultimately meant to be. Like I say, a number of organizations use different tools to get us to speak up. You know, they try to encourage communication between the higher ups and the workers. Regardless of all those good intentions, people still fear. Imagine we have a policy in the West about whistleblowers. You can come anonymously and whistleblow on a company or things that are going on in a company. And even then, even whistleblowers like Julian Assange and Snowden, they all get persecuted. It's not just that black and white that you can freely speak up. Think about how many whistleblowers had to fight their way out of problems within that company. There's this concept, if no one knows who said it, then there would be no repercussions. You know, if you whistleblow, if you put it in a suggestion box, if you all of those things in and of itself is crazy. If you want to say we have freedom of speech, that you have to put it in a suggestion box, or you have to say it secretly, or you have to whistleblow, that defeats the purpose of freedom of speech. Why are we so afraid that we have to do those things in the first place? It's basically saying you have to be fearful, so this is the route you have to take. How can you even fix the problem? How can you begin to fix the problem if somebody has to do this secretly, has to report racism or abuse or sexual abuse or any wrongdoing in a company or an organization if it's done secretly, anonymously? Because there has to be investigations, there has to be collaborations, there has to be, this person said this about you and I have to collaborate it with you. So eventually the person that's being accused have to know who you are, who has accused me. There has to be an investigation. So it's all so flawed. The concept that we have freedom of speech is completely blown out of the water. I want to encourage you guys, don't let them take your voice. Don't let anybody take your voice. I refuse to let somebody tell me what I can say. Take me to court. I am a person full of opinions. I have my opinion. It might not be your opinion. It might not be her opinion, but it's my opinion and it's my right to say it. It's in my constitution that I have a right to speak my mind, my opinions, but it's simply more and more being chipped away from us. You cannot say this. You're going to offend that. You're going to offend this group. You cannot call him that, or you cannot call her that. Why? I can call whoever I want, whatever I want. It is my opinion. Sally, Joe, and Ben have a right to their opinion and how they feel about a certain issue, but your rights stop where my rights begin. I also have a right to my opinion if I agree with that. I honestly think we are losing ourselves in this crazy mess of people dictating to us as a society what we can say, what is offensive. Offense means nothing. What offends one person doesn't offend the the other. Taking offense of something is a personal problem. That's your problem, not my problem. I'm not um, deliberately trying to hurt your feelings. If I say something, if I have an opinion, that is my right. That you take offense to that, that is a you problem. It's difficult. It's difficult. And I think if we don't nip this in the butt, we are in for a world of trouble because there will be words mandated, things mandated that you can say or you can't say, or um, this is offensive. I can't imagine. I can't imagine that a government mandates a particular thing offensive. How? And how do you regulate it? Do you have police on every corner regulating, hey, you just offended that person over there, you're in trouble? How do you regulate this? This is crazy. Hmm? Completely crazy. Guys, leave your thoughts about this in the comments below. I am so curious to know how you feel about this um, issue, that opinions are offensive to other people, and how far do we go with this nonsense? I'm so curious to know. I'll check you in my next vlog. Cheers.